Woke you up in your captivity, haven't I? Sent my son to free you mentally, haven't I? Showed you the gods of your enemies, haven't I? Gave you a heart that you remember me, haven't I? Help you understand your pain, haven't I? Didn't I give you back your name, haven't I? Showed you everything is vain, haven't I? In narrow pain, it's the way. His word don't come by void. An everlasting covenant he made we can't avoid. We still see that rainbow in the sky, cause this is story. The almighty power of y'all give him glory. Babylon is falling right before you, haven't I? Hosea 1 and 10, y'all we royal, haven't I? The valley of the dry came alive, haven't I? Hosea 6 and 2, we been provided, haven't I? He done sent his messengers to open up our eyes. He done sent Messiah, laid his life down and died. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. Send your mighty hand, you see the affliction, but get us out this lane. We know you don't change, but do it all again. Lifting up this rod over water, trust your plan. We gon' trust your plan. Haven't I woke you up in your captivity? Haven't I sent my son to free you mentally? Haven't I showed you the gods of your enemies? Haven't I gave you a heart that you remember me? Haven't I help you understand your pain? Haven't I didn't I give you back your name? Haven't I showed you everything is vain? Haven't I in narrow pain? It's the way.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Facebook Live, good morning, Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Good morning, YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. How's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing this morning? Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I hope everyone have had a great day, a great morning. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High really have truly has blessed you more than you can even bear. I hope the Most High really have done His will in your life. I hope He has blessed your offspring with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And I hope that He has just continued to open your eyes and take the fish scales off your eyes. Amen. So let us go ahead and turn to Exodus chapter 20 verses 1 through 17. Exodus 20, 1 through 17, and it reads, And El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and thou shalt have no other Els before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore, if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, honor thy fathers and thy mother, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything is thy neighbor. So let us pray this morning. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever. So let it be. Amen, amen, amen. I taught on this text before, but I'm going to teach on it now because I think it's very relevant. It's very important. And today's teachings is going to be about awareness, making sure you are aware of what's going on today. Okay? Making sure you are aware of what's going on today. Go ahead and get the Bible or the Biblia or the Word of Yahuwah out to Revelation chapter 13. Revelation chapter 13. Go ahead and get the Word out to Revelation chapter 13. And the key verse is going to be verse 16. Revelation chapter 13. And the key verse is verse 16. The key verse, and it reads, and he calls all, both great and small, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Let me read it over. And he calls all, both great and small, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. If I may get a title of the text today, the title of the text is The Beast System is Here. The Beast System is Here. If I may get some words today, I may go a little fast because I want to, it's so much stuff that I want to give to you. And want you to understand that nobody could have designed this in the manner in which it was designed unless the Most High did it. This was designed so strategically well that nobody ever could have paid attention to it. Nobody could have paid attention to it because there was so many other distractions out there to derail you from the trail. The words of today, system. System is a whole plan or a scheme consisting of many parts. Listen to that. A whole plan or scheme consisting of many parts connected in such a manner as to create a change of mutual dependencies, set or correlated principles, facts, and ideas. The word system is a 16th century word. It's a whole plan or scheme consisting of many parts connected in such a manner as to create a chain of mutual dependencies, set or correlated principles, facts, ideas, etc. Finance. Finance is revenue income of a king or state. An end, a settlement, a reimbursement, retribution, pardon, remission, payment, expense. Finance is a 14th century word. It means revenue, income of a king or state. It means an end, a settlement. It means retribution. It means pardon. It means remission. It means payment. It means expense. Also, I'm going to give you this word here. Aware. Aware. Aware means to be watchful, vigilant. That ain't the way to pronounce it, but that's the way I'm pronouncing it. Guarded, but more strictly in the modern usage means to appraise, expecting an event from information or probability. Aware means to be watchful or guarded, but more strictly in the modern usage, expecting an event from information or probability. Okay? Those are the three words that we have today: system, finance, and aware. Okay? So now when we look at this, the book, chapter 13 in the book of Revelation, it's talking about the beast of the kingdoms, or the rulers of the world, and how they function or how they rule the world at the time, and what they did and how they did things to be able to get to be the way that they are. Okay, as it says in Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, it says, and I stood upon the sands of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. That means that the kingdom that was ruling at that time, that had many nations up under him, he was ruling the nations through blasphemy. He was ruling the nations through wickedness and deceitfulness. He was ruling all those nations through deceitfulness. And then it reads in verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power, and his seat and great authority. So this kingdom that was ruling at the time, he just wasn't in control, or he didn't just have 7 nations up under him. He had 7 kingdoms and 10 horns, 10 crowns that he was ruling. But how he ruled was, and his authority was like a leopard. His power was like a bear. His roar, his conversation was like a lion. And he had great power and authority that the dragon has given him. And he had power and authority over the people. And he was ruling them over the people with great authority. But this kingdom had failed, meaning the Roman Empire had fallen. This Roman Empire had fallen, and then there was another kingdom that had to come up and come behind this nation. And this kingdom had failed. And now when we go to verse 11, and it's talking about another kingdom that will come up that will be very similar to the first kingdom that was ruling. If you see the the gold border around the flag, that means that we are still connected to the Roman Empire or the British government. They still are in control of us. Anytime you see that gold symbol, that gold stitching around the flag, that means that we're still associated with the British or the Roman Empire. Everything that you see today is very similar to the Roman Empire. Everything that you see that was built here in the Americas or the U.S. is very similar to what's going on over there in the Roman Empire. But we are just a sister country to the Roman Empire. Okay? And in this passage, verses 11 through 18, it's not just talking about how they educated the people, but it's talking about how they were ruled over the people. How they were ruled over the people. And most countries rule over their people is through finances. And see, that's what we're basically talking about today. How the United States will rule over its citizens and how the United States will control its citizens. Just like how the BRICS will control their citizens. They will rule and control their citizens over or through the finances. BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay? That's what BRICS means. All of them have come together on one accord to establish this one financial currency which they will be able to trade and barter within their own countries. Not having to use the dollar bill as their dominant currency anymore. And you have 48 to 50 other countries are waiting to August to be able to apply to BRICS so that they can be able to drop the US dollar usage and be a part of the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So if 48 other countries besides those 5 I just named drop the US dollar bill and go with the BRICS, the dollar bill will not have its dominant power that it used to have. It will lose all power. That means that the United States will go into what they call a dark age, meaning that it will not have the power that it had before. It will not have the control and abilities to control the world, because nobody will be using the dollar bill. Why no one would want to use the dollar bill and why no one using the dollar bill? Because the dollar bill does not really have any power. It don't have any backing. Let me read you something. August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon announcing the severing of linking the links between the dollar and gold as part of a broad economic plan. In August 15, 1971, Richard Nixon stopped using gold as collateral for the dollar bill. So now the dollar bill really don't have any collateral to back it up by. That is the reason why the BRICS are leaving the dollar bill, because it doesn't have any value, because it don't have anything to back it up with. It don't have anything to back it. But BRICS, Brazil, Russia, China, India, and South Africa, they're going to back their currency by gold. So the BRICS currency will have much more power and value than the dollar bill. It will have so much more greater power than the dollar bill. Because what you see what's going on in the world today, we're going into a fourth industrial revolution, but it is going to be ruled by technology. It's going to be ruled by digital. It's going to be ruled by silver and gold. It's going to be ruled by Bitcoin. It's going to be ruled by whatever country takes the dominant, whoever, either it's going to be the BRICS or it's going to be the United States. And whatever one rules, they will have the legitimate power to rule the world through their currency. And let me say this to you. Most countries rule the world not through military might, but through financial might. Okay? So, I want to read you something before we get started. Because because Most High, He just showed me something. That's why I said earlier that only the Most High could have designed this plan the way He designed this plan. Only the Most High could have done it. No other entity could have done it the way He did it. Okay? I'm going to read you something. It may take me a few seconds, but I'm going to read it to you. In 1885, credit limits was established in general stores. Meaning somebody can go into a general store and say, hey, let me put this on my tab and I will pay you at the end of the week. It basically, what Google is saying, it started in 1885. Understand that. In 1885, the general stores started rendering credit to people through a promise. In 1950, the first credit card came out, and it was called the Diners Club card. It was the first national or nation credit card that was issued to the people in 1950. 1946, Biggins Banks, Biggins Banks introduced Charge It card. In 1946, they introduced the Charge It card through the Biggin Bank. In 1946. 1958, Bank of America issued a credit card with a $300 limit as a revolving credit. 1966, the Bank of Delaware issued a credit card with a revolving credit. 1977, Citibank announced the Choice credit card in 1977. 1985, the Discovery card was introduced into the world. 1999, American Express launched its Blue card. Understand, from 1946 to 1999, we was mainly using credit cards. Majority of the population of the people was using credit cards and ATM cards and also as well as cash. But most of the time, people were using credit cards and ATM cards during that time period. But understand, prior to 1950, everybody was using cash. Understand that. Before 1950, everybody was using cash. Then from 1946 to 1950 on up to 1999, it just wasn't, cash just wasn't in the market. Credit cards and ATMs was in the market. Debit cards was in the market. So what was, let me read you something. I want you to always have this in mind. I want you to always have this in mind when you are living in this world. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Listen to that. Wherefore take on you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil days, and have done all to stand. Listen to that. Understand that. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places. Always have that in your mind. Because when you look at it from 1940, from the establishment of currency in this world, we was always operating off the dollar bill until 1950, 1950 when credit cards was introduced. Now when credit cards and ATM cards was introduced, it was using less of less of cash, but more of credit cards and ATM cards because of the word of convenience. If you never had cash, if you always had your ATM card, you will always have something to be able to buy and purchase and sell with, right? And that was a major deal to 1999. ATM cards, credit cards, debit cards, and cash was the major deal. From 2005 and 2006, in 2005 and 2006, 94 million people that had a credit card account with TJ Maxx numbers were stolen. Listen to that. 94 million credit cards and debit cards accounts were stolen at TJ Maxx in 2005 and 2006. And we were also having a high fraudulent credit card process that was happening during that time too. 2013, 40 million credit and debit card accounts were stolen. I don't forget what account that was at. I don't forget who that was with. But also in 2014, 56 million credit and debit card accounts were stolen from Home Depot. What they're trying to say, from 2005 to 2014, we was having a lot of information that was stolen through the credit cards. Understand? A cause and an effect. Okay? 2014, Apple Pay was introduced as a mainstream payment system, alleviating credit cards, alleviating cash, alleviating credit card. Now they introduced a financial system that would say you can use Apple Pay to be able to make payments on your phone, and nobody could be able to get that identity from you. Understanding that earlier in 2014, 56 million credit card and debit card holders from Home Depot got stolen. So now they come out with Apple Pay later on during that year, trying to help alleviate information and credit cards being stolen from stores and bank accounts and so forth and so forth. October the 15th, 2013, Cash App was launched by blockchain. So now they are transitioning our finances through technology so that they could be able to control your finances through technology. Because prior to 1950, they could not control how you spent your money, what you spent your money on, and the way you spent it. They couldn't even they couldn't even do anything to you. 1950 to 2000, 50 years, they was able not just to control it, but they was able to watch everything and how you spent all your finances through credit and debit card usage. Understand that. They was able to control and watch how you spent your money through credit card and ATM usages. So now, in 2013, Cash App, Apple Pay, and all these other Zillow, all these other internet transactions came into play, where everything is just set up through your phone to the other person, alleviating the banking system. You are alleviating the banking system. If one person got Cash App and if my wife have Cash App and I have Cash App and she needs some money, I don't necessarily have to go to the bank to send her some money. Only thing I can do is say, babe, I'm finna send you $30 to your Cash App. Alleviating the banking system totally. From you having to even use the bank or even use cash or credit or debit to get that person some money. Even with stores, most people buy their stuff products from Amazon. Your account is set up with Amazon and your ATM card is set up with Amazon where you don't even need a bank no more. Only thing you have to do is just go onto the Amazon store and say, this is what I want. Make 3 clicks. Bam! Transaction done. No cash needed. No credit card needed. No nothing done. It's just transactions. Bam. Now in Kroger's and in, what's the name? You know the other stores? It's in Kroger's and Whole Foods. It's in other stores where they are removing cashiers and just putting up cash registers. Automatic cash registers where you don't need anything, where it's going cashless. Some stores where you can just go in and wave your hand across the scanner and you could be able to purchase everything you need. You don't have to tell them the company you work for. But you want to tell them what the company said to you, said to the employees about going to a vending machine? You gotta talk loud now.
The reason the building was being, the way it was being made for what's to come, was because you would be able to walk into the break room and get items from the cafe, and all you had to do was just wave your hand and walk out. But that was years ago it was some years ago when I heard that, but it's been brought back to my attention that now it's going to be in place.
It's going to be in place by January of 2024.
Yep.
You have these stores now where you can just walk in and wave your hand across the register and all your items will be paid for, and you don't need an ATM card, you don't need a credit card, you don't need silver or gold or cash.
And when I questioned it, they were like, "Oh, it's based on the honor system." Ha 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 ha.
They said it was what?
Based on the honor system.
Oh.
But we are here now.
So, when you see the transition, in 2009, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency came out, where cryptocurrency was the big hot thing coming. But all of it was to get you off of the dollar bill. But all of it was a way to get you to the system that it is today so that they can start to be able to control everything you do, how you do it, and the way you do it. I'm going to even say this to you too. Okay. Do you know why they... Okay, let me say this. Do you know your pet's microchips will not help locate them if they go missing? Microchips can only help identify them after they've been found. But to keep your pet safe, you want to make sure they never go missing in the first place. That's where GPS tracking like Tractive comes in. See, when we allow those who have pets or dogs or animals, and you allowed your dog to be tracked or to be chipped in case that dog get lost, you was part of a human experience. So when they decided to put the microchip into humans, they saw how it would affect dogs, but they also saw how you would respond to it by what they said to you. Because they gave you the ploy that if your dog get lost, we can use this microchip to help you locate your dog. But in actuality, the chip was not necessary to locate your dog. It was to identify your dog. But it was also programming you for now what's to come. Will you be so willingly to chip yourself so that you won't have to worry about credit card fraud, ATM fraud, cash, whatever? Only thing that you would have to do is have your money in your hand and wave it across the register and you would be able to pay for it. See, they was using our animals as experiments to see how well the implant will work in people's hands, or how well it will work in the animal so that they could use it to correct it when they wanted to put it into a human. They would have all the glitches figured out. They used it on our animals first. And now once they got all the glitches out of it, they can now put it in us. Let me read you something. World Corn Project launches. Let me read that over. World Corn Project launches. World Corn Foundation today launched that World Corn, a project found by Sam and many others. The launch included the release of a World ID. Listen to that. The launch included the release of the World ID SDK and planned to scale orb operation to 35 cities across 20 countries around the world. In tandem, the foundation subsidiary World Access mint and released the World Coin token to the millions of eligible people who participate in the beta. WLD is now transferable on the blockchain. In the age of AI, the need for proof of personhood is no longer a topic of serious debate. Instead, the critical question is whether or not the proof of personhood solution we have can be privacy first, decentralized and minimally inclusive. Through its unique technology, WorldCoin aims to provide anyone in the world, regardless of background, geographic, and income, access to the growing digital and global economy in a privacy-preserving and decentralized way. Now let me tell you what this company did 3 days ago. This company did something 3 days ago. They went into a mall in Switzerland or Spain. They asked people, let me scan your eye, your rectum, your eye, and put it into a database, and I will give you $2,000 monthly for an estimated amount of time. We don't know. But let me read you something. This is what it says. It says, central to the efforts is an eye scanning physical, which WorldCoin founders say is necessary for a future in which distinguishing between humans and robots become increasingly challenging due to a surge in artificial intelligence technology. Once users have proven they are not robots, they can be issued one of the company's tokens. See, what's taking place on the world today is it's going to a totally different level. It's going to a totally different level of information and technology on how they're going to control and use technology to control the people. But let me get back to the text. I'm going to get back to some more articles, but I want to get back to the text. I just told you about how they used all the systems to get us to where we are today. They used the cash, and then they used the credit, then the ATMs, and then after they used the credit cards and the ATMs and the debit cards, and then they used blockchain. Now they're at the end of blockchain. Now they're using cryptocurrency. Okay. What is FedNow? FedNow is the Federal Reserve Now instant payment services that will enable customers at participating banks and credit unions to send and receive money within seconds. You'll be able to complete payments or transfer on weekends, holidays, after banks close business hours. After banks' business hours, which issued the case for standard online transfers such as those throughout the automated clearinghouse. FedNow will do is what will FedNow do is it will be able to enable all the banks, any banks in the U.S., not just the big ones, to offer instant available funds and real-time payment to their customers. FedNow is like cryptocurrency. Instant payment. FedNow is just like Cash App, Zelle, Apple Pay. But who will be controlling your finances will be the federal government. So now when we go to Revelation chapter 13 verse 11, we want to talk about the character of this beast. It says in Revelation chapter 13 verse 11, it says, "And I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon." This nation of people that will be ruling the earth at a time will have an image of a kingdom. Let us go to Daniel chapter 3. Daniel chapter 7 verse 3. I'm trying to let you know when the word beast, what the word beast means. Daniel chapter 7 verse 3. The word beast is going to give you identification. It says in Daniel chapter 7 verse 3, it says, "And the four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another." Go down to verse 17. A beast means this: these great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. Now when you're looking at Revelation chapter 13 verse 11, when it's talking about a beast, it's talking about a kingdom. Okay, now when it says has two horns like a lamb, let us go to Matthew's chapter 7 verse 15. Because even though he looked like a lamb, he's not a lamb. He's this in Matthew chapter 7 verse 15. It says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves." Understand that the U.S. looked like a lamb or a land of paradise, but the United States has the highest incarceration rate throughout the whole world. The United States is not ranked in the top 10 when it comes to education. It's not desirable to live like we think it is. Also, now when it says it spake like a dragon, let us go to Daniel again, chapter 7, verses 24-25. Let us just go to verse 25. Daniel chapter 7 verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand unto a time and times and a dividing of times. This is what this nation did. This was a nation that looked like paradise, even though it was not paradise, but it was a wicked nation because what it made its citizens do upon the land. That's the characteristic, that's the image, that is what this nation was all about in Revelation chapter 13 verses 11. Let us go back to Revelations. Let's go to verse 12. Listen to this. Now this nation he spoke like a dragon, he looked like a dragon, he looked like a lamb, but he was a wolf in sheep clothing. Now in verse 12, he exercised all the powers of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wounds was healed. Okay. Now, what did the first beast worship? Let us go to verse 2. What did the first beast worship? Chapter 13, Revelation chapter 13 verse 2. Let us just go to verse 2 in Revelations. Because this beast in verse 11 is very resemblance of the beast in verse 1 of the first beast. This kingdom is the same as the first kingdom. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave his power and his seat and great authority. So the first beast of the first kingdom was worshiping the dragon. Now this nation in verse 12 is worshiping the same dragon as the first nation was worshiping. So this nation just didn't look like a lamb but a wolf. This nation just didn't speak terrible things. This nation worshiped Satan. This nation worshiped the Hashatan. And see, a lot of us don't want to come to that realization of Ephesians 6 and 12. What did it say? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. A lot of us have a strong belief system that no, America wants the best for us. But the people that's in charge of the U.S. is not actually in charge. The spirit that is in charge is against spiritual wickedness in high places. Who's in charge? In Revelation 13 verse 2 it says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Who's in charge is the great dragon, which is in spiritual wickedness in high places. That is why so many people is having a hard time understanding everything that's going on in the world. That's why they're having a hard time understanding why these things are taking place. That's why they're having a hard time understanding that we are in the beast system. Because their thought process is not the Hashatan is ruling the world. They're looking at it as if man is ruling the world. So let us go down to verse 2. See, this nation, it just didn't look like a great kingdom, but it spoke wickedness. This nation just didn't speak wickedness or look like a great kingdom. It worshiped the Hashatan. Verse 13. And he doeth great mere wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from the heavens on the earth in the sight of men. It says that he did some wonderful things, looking as if he was a great nation. Even though this kingdom, this nation are allowing people to come over from all these other countries and they got a good life, that what looks good to them. But in actuality, they're no more in slavery than the people who originally was here. Yes, they have an opportunity to make money, but eventually they're going to be slaves. So let us go to verse 14. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man, and deceive them that dwell on the earth. What happened? And deceive them. This nation deceived many people that dwelled on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. So this nation deceived many people because of his abilities. Now, this nation made people worship this image. This image. Now this nation made people worship this image. What everybody trying to get now? What everybody trying to get now? Money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. And they'll be willing to do anything and everything to get money. I'll be looking on TikTok, and some people do some of the most dangerous things on TikTok to get TikTok viewers, so that they can get some money. They even be putting out propaganda on TikTok just to get TikTok viewers. Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. should be killed. Let us go to Daniel. Daniel. Chapter 3. Verse 9. This was the same reason why Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys was put into the fiery furnace. It says, many of those who did not worship the beast should be killed. Now, this is the same thing in Daniel chapter 3, verse 9. And it reads in verse 8, it says, wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans saying came near and accused the Jews. Because what happened is Nebuchadnezzar said, when I start playing music in my kingdom, when you hear all the music playing and the instruments playing, you should bow down and worship my image. That's what King Nebuchadnezzar made his statue for, so that everybody can bow down and worship that statue when they heard the music playing. So now, when they made that a law, whenever they heard it, everybody had to do it. So now, this is the reason why Daniel don't got put in jail or put in the fiery furnace. It says, wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said unto King Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree, a law, that every man that shall hear the sound of the clarinet and the flutes they shall fall down and worship the golden image. I didn't read the whole thing. It says the clarinet, the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the image. And whosoever falleth not down and worship, that he should be cast to the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy God, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. This is going to be very similar to that situation right there. If you do not worship, if you do not participate in the system that is getting ready to come up, you will be put into a fiery furnace. Or you will be cast, or you will be outcast, or you will go starving. Let's go back to Revelation. Let us go to verse 16. Let us go back to verse 15. You just saw what happened in Daniel, where Daniel had to worship the statue when the music came on. He didn't worship it, so he was cast into a fiery furnace. He came out untouched. But in verse 15 it says, and he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he calls, the word calls in verse 16 means to force, to make, to abide, to abide. All, he forced all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Let me stop right there for a second. I did this. I I Googled, can a microchip be implanted in the right finger, in the hand? Listen to this. The British, to be used as finance. To be used as finance. It says in verse 16, he forced all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. I Googled, can a microchip be implanted in the hand for finance? The British and Polish company Wallet More, Walletor, is selling microchips as alternative payment options that let you pay with your hand. This chip is about the size of a grain of rice, costs about $300, and does not come inside a credit card. And does not come inside a credit card. Instead, it must be implanted into your hand, preferably in your hand. This has been going on. Okay, then I said, can a microchip, can you get a microchip in your hand? They went down and said, today, as of February the 5th, 2023, today more than 50,000 people have elected to have a subdemental chip surgically inserted between the thumb and the index finger as serve as their new swipe key or credit card. Then it says, is there a microchip for money? Get your Wallet More payment implanted now and make a step into the future. In 2021, the British and Polish company known as Wallet More announced that it has become the first company to sell implantable payment chips to everyday consumers. He's forced all, both rich, great and small, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. In 2021, a Polish firm known as Wallet More announced that it had become the first company to sell implantable payment microchips to everyday consumers. See, they're going to force us to take this chip. Let us go to Zechariah 13 and 6. Zechariah 13 and 6. One shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thy hands? And he shall answer, those which I was wounded in the house of my friends. See, everybody gonna understand why you doing what you're doing, because every majority of the people gonna get them. Let's go to Revelations 14 and 9. Revelation 14 and 9, and it reads, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and with brimstones in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb, and smoke of their torment ascend up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever received the mark in his name. Let us go back to verse 17. Yeah, Revelation verse 13, verse 17. Okay, and it says, and that no man may okay, if you do not receive, in Revelation 13 and 17, he said, if he forced all, both small, great, rich, poor, free, and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead, we know that that system is out now. And that no man may buy, he's saying if you don't receive that mark, that no man might not buy nor sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now we're going to find out the number. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is 666. Now, cryptocurrency has the patent number 060606. That is the cryptocurrency patent number that Bill Gates patent out here today. Let me read you something. Okay. Cryptocurrency system using body activity, which is numbers is, it came out in 2020, and the number is 06060681. So if you want to look it up, it was established in 2020. It was application filed by Microsoft Technology Licensing, and it was a patent. And okay, it says it's a cryptocurrency system comprising of one or more processors and memory, storing executable instructions that, if executed by one or more processors, configure the cryptocurrency system too. So now 060606 is the patent number for the cryptocurrency. See, they moved us to cryptocurrency with Cash App, Apple Pay, Zelle Pay, and all the other pays. That was the beginning of going into the Mark of the Beast system, which came out in 2014, and with Bitcoin. But just let me read you something. You got to go through all of this. It says, detailed description of embodiment. They use words where you may not be able to totally understand it, but the word embodiment means the letter or the pattern. Detailed descriptions of the pattern. In the following detailed description, reference is made to the accompanying drawings which form a part hereof, and which are shown by way of illustration, specified patterns in which the invention may be practiced. These patterns are described in significant details to enable those skilled in the art to practice the invention. It is to be understood that other patterns may be utilized and that structural, logical, and electrical changes may be made without departing from the spirit and scope of the invention. The following detailed description is therefore not to be taken in a limited sense, and the scope of the invention is detailed. It is defined only by the pen claim and equivalent thereof. Okay, the term cryptocurrency may mean a digital currency in which encryption techniques are used to regulate the generations of unit of currency and verify the transfer of funds. Many cryptocurrencies include the use of blockchain to provide security and prevent fraud as double spending. Some patterns of the present disclosure may be used in alternative cryptocurrency mechanisms other than a blockchain. Listen to that. Some patterns or some embodiments of the present disclosure may be used in alternative cryptocurrency mechanisms other than a blockchain. The system, method, and computer program produced described herein may be applied to both centralized and decentralized cryptocurrency networks and database. Let me see something. Let me go up a little bit. I'm just gonna read I'm gonna read a little bit more and that's it, but I'm just gonna explain it to you. Hold on, okay, let me do this. Okay, the method of claim for cryptocurrency. It is receiving by the cryptocurrency system from the device of the user data of the body activity. Listen to that. The body activity generated before the hash is applied in the hash of the body activity rehashing. By the cryptocurrency system, the data of the body activity and the comparing by the cryptocurrency system, the rehashed data with the hash of the body activity received from the device of the user to verify the body activity. That means that whatever is the cryptocurrency is going to be working off the system and the body, the information that the body gives it. It's not just going to be from a physical thing, it's going to be from a medical thing as well. All your history will be installed in that microchip. From your date of birth, from medical fields, all your information. So they can know everything about you. So what am I saying?
That's why they have the electronic power share medical records.
What you say?
Electronic power share.
People can't hear you, baby.
Electronic power share medical records.
What is that?
So, say for instance, Emory and Piedmont can connect. They can talk.
Their systems can talk.
Their systems can talk. They can see. They can send records electronically.
All in one database.
Yes. And they tell their patients that it's easier and you don't have to come and get your records. They're just
all together.
They can talk, yes. So it's a plan. It was a plan.
So I'm done teaching for the day. The reason why I talk like this today because I want you to be aware of the financial systems that's getting ready to be implanted, or that's coming out, and I want you to be able to know how to maneuver in this process. I understand that you're gonna have a choice to make. whether you would choose this system or whether you would not choose this system. Also, whatever decision you make, also understand that Ephesians 6 and 12. Understand that. So whatever decide, if you are aware of what's getting ready to come out with the eyes, the microchip, the cryptocurrency, that's why the banks are going out of business, because the Federal Reserve don't need the banks no more. You just gonna go, your money just gonna go straight to the government. It's gonna come straight from the government, and it's just gonna be you and the government dealing. The bank's gonna be obsolete. So I'm just making you aware of that, because we're gonna be in some challenging times, and you're gonna have to make some tough decisions on what you're gonna do. Are you truly gonna put your faith in the Most High and not participate in the system, or are you going to participate? But if you do participate, you got to understand in chapter 14 that you're going to go through some tough times. Those who ever took the mark of the beast going to really go through some tough times. You're going to be persecuted and tormented. So understand that. Understand that. The title of the text again, the beast system, is here. We talked about the system, the financial system. I gave you definition for the finance and the system. You got to be aware of it. If you don't have any silver and gold, that's what you can buy. But you mainly need to make sure that if you can sustain, you want to sustain yourself, you got to prepare yourself spiritually and physically. Okay? So let's conclude my teaching for today. I hope I gave you some information that was good for you. I hope that, everything works out. I hope the Most High intervene in time, but this got to happen, okay? Even the WEF, it says, although the WEF article is primarily medically focused, see, the microchip they're going to use it as a medical chip as well. It says, although the WEF article is primarily medically focused, it does not mention the application of an augmentation and implant for recreation, educational, and personal use. Such an implant to help children focus in school, skeletons, and argument for reality for playing video games. It is in this area the the article discusses microchipping healthy people and children, but in an extremely speculative tone regarding the future possibilities for recreational use. They talking about the WEF, the World Economic Forum, is talking about implanting people for recreational use. Okay? It says, for example, should you implant a tracking chip in your children? Here are solid, rational reasons for it. Likely safety. Would you actually do it? Is it a bridge too far? Even taken out of the context of the original article, the quote is speculative, discussing the ethical question and boundaries surrounding the application of agreement reality. It is not a literal comment that it should be done. Similar other speculations and discussions around ethic occurs in the WEF article, which points out that the ethic needs to be at the forefront of any such development. The WEF is also pushing for implants. So you just got to be aware. The World Economic Forum, that's what WEF stands for, World Economic Forum, they're pushing for implants as well. So Father, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Father, we thank you for everything you're doing and how you do it. At the end of the day, Father, let your will be done. Let us see the way you want us to see, hear the way you want us to see, and speak the way you want us to speak. Abba, let us be aware of what's going on in the world so we can move and function the way you want us to. Father, give us the strength to stand. Give us the faith. Give us the abilities to be warriors like David. Let us be able to prophesy and speak dreams and things in life. Let us just be able to stand and become one with your word. Let us have your protection like John. Let us be like Peter, be strong-willed. And all these things we pray in your higher name, so let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all have a blessing. Shabbat shalom. Have a nice Shabbat.
Woke you up in your captivity, haven't I? Sent my son to free you mentally, haven't I? Showed you the gods of your enemies, haven't I? Gave you a heart that you remember me, haven't I? Help you understand your pain, haven't I? Didn't I give you back your name, haven't I? Showed you everything is vain, haven't I? Narrow path is the way. His word don't come by void. An everlasting covenant he made we can't avoid. We still see that rainbow in the sky, cause this is story. The almighty power, but y'all give him glory. Babylon is falling right before you, haven't I? Hosea 1 and 10, y'all we royal, haven't I? The valley of the dry done came alive, haven't I? Hosea 6 and 2, we been provide, haven't I? He done sent his messengers to open up our eyes. He done sent Messiah, laid his life down and died. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. Send your mighty hand, you see the affliction, but get us out this lane. We know you don't change, but do it all again. Lifting up this rod over waters, trust your plan. We gon' trust your plan. Haven't I woke you up in your captivity? Haven't I sent my son to free you mentally? Haven't I showed you the gods of your enemies? Haven't I gave you a heart that you remember me? Haven't I help you understand your pain? Haven't I didn't I give you back your name? Haven't I showed you everything is vain? Haven't I in narrow path is the way?